Hello and welcome to this week's video. I thought today we would look a little bit into abstract art and what I've been doing so far for Abstract April and maybe make one together. So I've got a little sketchbook which is just a Royal Talons, so it's, you know, super cheap. But I really love these sketchbooks and I'm glad I've gone back to them. So for each day with Blue Shine Art, Charlotta Hamilton, we've been adding a picture to a Padlet and like sharing the pictures for everybody to work different abstracts from. I'm mainly taking the colours from each photograph as my starting point, maybe sketching out some shapes that's in the image and just really going with the flow. I'm trying to use mixed media and a lot of collage. Some I like. This one I think turned out quite nice. I am probably liking the ones in my sketchbook more than when I come to do a final piece for the day, which is often the way. I love this pink and blue together. So it's great fun exploring different colourways, different shapes. I'd like to work more on that one. Say with an abstract, they never really feel finished. I could always go back and add more. So I think I am a few days behind. That one definitely needs some more on it. I've gone mad with watercolour and salt. I've been using a lot this month. This one I like. I've got some textured paper on there which gives a lovely effect. That one I haven't done the final piece for. But I thought today we'll do day, let's see what day I'm up to, day 16. Oh, I'll just quickly flip through the final pieces. If I can find where I've put them. I literally just had them in my hands. Oh, there they are. Oh dear. I'm not sure I quite got my camera set up right today. So, this one I think needs more darks on it. It's looking a bit too samey. And I probably, if I was using acrylics, would go in and patch off some bits. I could do that with collage. This one I like. Slightly crazy, but I think that works. I like the colours in this one, and I've used some old bits of paintings. This one I think needs a bit more dark on it again. So you could just keep layering and layering. This one's got loads of layers. I just kept adding to it. But I quite like how it turned out. This one I like. It was all the same colour. And I put these dark pieces of collage and I thought, actually, that's working so much better. So I started to put some ink on. And I thought, oh, that's a good way of blocking out some sections. So I think ink might work quite well. And I'm trying to bring in flowers sometimes as well, flower shapes. This one I like, once I'd put the dark blue on it. So I think for me, contrast is important, shape and contrast. This one I quite liked as well, like some of the colour contrasts and shape. So these are giving me lots of good ideas for colour and things like that. Whether they'll actually become anything, who knows, but it's fun. So today's photograph is a lovely scene of trees. So we've got blue sky, we've got whites, we've got greys. There's so many colours in here, we could use loads. So I might get my greens out. And let's see if we can just do green maybe. Will that be too green? I actually don't have that many green blue pencils. Let's see what we've got. So I really like this brighter green. So there is a building that has quite an orange roof. So we could have that as a contrast colour. orangey. So I'm not super, but that's actually quite good. Derwent Light Fast Burnt Sienna. Right. So I'm liking that one. I don't go like too, trying to get too perfect. This one is obviously one I like. It's a Polychromos Chromium Green Opaque. That one will keep. I'm sure I've got quite a glowy. I know what could work. Inktense Sherbet Lemon. That's definitely in the picture. What's Baked Earth? That's an Inktense one. That's quite nice as well. Some more greens. So sometimes I do this and it goes off into a completely different plan, and that's fine. It doesn't have to stay. So I normally start by looking at colour pencils, and then I might look at watercolours. So I'm using a lot of watercolour at the moment. I'm trying to sort of match the same colours, but again, I'm not like super particular about it. So we'll try and get that brighter green. Oh, that's nice. I like that. So for the watercolours, I'm just using the Van Gogh set, which I quite like. I think they're very pigmented. Yeah, we like that. So I'm going to look for some shapes in the picture. Just see what we get. Trying to decide if I'm going to use collage today. I think I probably will. So are you a fan of abstract? I know some people love it. Some people are not a fan. I enjoy it. I like the freedom. Find I don't overthink it. I think with my more realistic work, I can become quite not stressed so much as just want it to look right. So this is just an old piece of artwork. That's quite similar. I'm finding a lot of similar colours coming up, but that's fine. Oops. So all bits of work that I've got drawings on are quite useful. I think sometimes I don't go quite dark enough. So we'll bring in some darker elements. Got some old jelly printing, that's always useful. have that as a starting point. Another thing that I've bought this week is a little viewfinder, which I'm finding quite useful. So if let's say I don't like a piece, or if I want to find more shape, I can just move it around, and like I really like how that looks, or you know, really zoom into the piece, and that could be a starting point for another piece of work. So yeah, finding that really handy. My dream would be to make massive acrylic paintings, but as I've said, my space is very limited, and I don't like making mess that I can't clean up easily. So like gouache you can clean up easily, watercolours, but acrylic, it's difficult washing it away as well, isn't it? You know, you don't want to put a load of it down the sink. I think I used to put it down the sink. We never had any problems, to be fair, but again, you're just putting a lot of plastic into the pipes of your plumbing. I'm just building up some shapes. I'm not the best at leaving white space. I end up filling up every inch of the paper. And I'm not really being too particular where anything's going. And I'm just using Pritt Stick to stick everything down. If I'm going to stick something really heavy down, I will use acrylic gel medium. Just peeling up a little bit, I'll stick that back down. I think with abstracts we all have our different sort of key things. I often like to just do a very loose border. Edges is one of my go-to shapes. Arches sometimes comes into my work a lot. Don't know whether that has a deep meaning. Some people like very orderly abstracts. Mine's definitely more the Joan Mitchell sort of more is more. Freedom, looseness. I'm quite liking that. But I wouldn't say that that was, you know, completely finished. How's your week going? I've had a very busy week. It's gone quite quickly. Not massively productive art-wise. So it's all very same again, I think. So I think we need to look for some shapes we want to enhance. What about, Have I got a green ink? I don't think I've got a very dark green ink. Ooh, that is a bit too green for my liking. Definitely want to go a bit darker. Oh, that's... So now I'm at the point where I'm not even really thinking about the inspiration so much. Of course, it made it very, very wet. Let that dry a little bit. I'm going to mix up some really dark, thick watercolour. Massive good luck with a pipette. I don't think I mix enough up. Let's try that again. I sometimes see if that works a bit better. Let's try and take it straight from the... I love a lot of texture, which is harder to find when you're not using something like acrylic or oils. But we just find different ways to do it. Something else that's good for textures. Neo colours. So some of the papers are quite shiny, so it acts differently on those. Quite chaotic with how I work. And sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't, but I think that's why I'm enjoying the sketchbook so much. It handles loads. We will give it a dry and then see where we're at. kind of dry. That is one crinkly bit of paper. More collage. I definitely think we need some paler sections. Let's see what we've got. I probably could do with making some more collage papers. I don't seem to have many greens. Green isn't one of my favourite colours. So maybe I don't make them very often. I was about to say, my desk is so much easier to keep on top of tidying, seeing as since I changed my desk round. But I have just lost my scissors. There they are. The collage quite difficult, actually. I don't know whether I want to put it on. So I'm finding I'm keeping all bits of paper and things. So I suppose where I would put white paint, I need to put white collage instead. And a lot of this is just cheap printer paper that I'm not a massive fan of. But it works out well. I'm going to go for it. What's the worst that can happen? We can just paint over it. So by doing the layers, you get like hidden shapes appear. That's toning things down a little bit. I'm not loving the colour palette. Probably because I like this section here. You know, that's quite interesting. But yeah, there's some bits in there that I like. Could bring in is some white gouache. It's so much harder when you're filming as well, thinking and that does not want to stick down, does it? So gouache works quite well, and it picks up some of the colours, you know, that I've been using. How it's going to dry, I'm not sure, but we shall see. So we'll make this bit less white. I do like the shapes that's created. So we've got quite a lot going on. I think it's starting to gel together. I wouldn't want it on my wall, but as an experiment and learning. A lot of salt, which I never can fully remove. Right, I'm going to dry that again. Let's see where we're at. There's so much salt that doesn't want to stick down. I might go over it with a layer of gloss medium once I've finished. So I really like how the gouache has worked and harmonised things a little bit. Just going to bring in some darker areas just to move the eye around the painting a little bit. But you can see, you know, the history of the layers, which I really, really like. I think that will not stick down, right? One. I'm going to go over that with a gloss medium and a cheap brush. And hopefully that will keep everything from sticking down. Keep everything sticking down even. Right, we will get that stuck down. There we go, that's worked now. So I will let that dry and I'll pop a picture at the end and we'll see how that turns out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my slightly chaotic process of making abstract art. And let me know if you have any questions or ideas, and hopefully see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.